Hello, welcome everyone to our INICIVOX Mentor SkillShare Avoiding Burnout edition. If you are joining us right now, please give me a hello in the chat so I know that you're here. My name is Amy Summers, and I'm founder and president of INICIVOX and Pitch Publicity. I'll also be moderating our panel today. So let's get going because I want to introduce our mentor panelists and orient everyone to our session today. So at INICIVOX, our goal is to equalize mentorship through virtual means, simplifying the process of connecting with mentors. We remove barriers and create more access, delivering mentorship to accelerate your career development, regardless of your current stage. Our mentorship format is a win-win, providing you valuable insights for immediate career growth and enabling mentors to reach a broader audience. Unlike the less accessible one-on-one, let's go grab coffee approach of the past, you're having coffee today with 3 mentors, and we're going to get it done in 45 minutes. So this session will be brief. Let's dive right into the introductions and your questions. And as I introduce the panelists, please go ahead and fire up that Q&A box. Look for it. There's a Q&A box. Some of you are in the chat box right now, but if you have a question, I want to know who you would like to ask your question to, Dr. Chaudhary, Taishan, or Danielle. And then we'll be inviting some attendees on camera to ask their questions. But to be considered for this, I want you to include, I want to be on camera in your question. And if you don't request this, I'll just ask your question on your behalf. Alternatively, you can also opt for an anonymous question, and I won't even mention your name. So, to ensure effective interaction with our mentors during this session, we really encourage you to request camera time when asking questions. And then when I invite you on stage, Zoom will prompt you to confirm your camera access. So simply click confirm and wait a few seconds without touching anything else on your screen. It might seem like you're leaving the Zoom room, but don't worry, you're just joining us on stage. And then once on stage, turn your video and microphone on and then ask your question. After your question is addressed, you'll be automatically returned to the audience without needing to press any buttons, and Zoom will just send you right back to the audience. Now, today, for our first 3 on-camera questions, you will receive a health package containing some favorite products from our esteemed panelists that I happen to have right here. And I just wanted to show you some of these things. I think I have some ashwagandha too. Ever wonder what that's all about? Gwyneth Paltrow is always crazy about ashwagandha. So if you're one of the first 3, you are going to get a health package. And if you are one of the first 3, please email us at info@inicivox.com with your mailing address, and we're going to ship you the health package right after the session. All right, so some of you are already using the chat box. That's great. Give us a hello. Tell us where you are joining us from so our panelists know. And share your thoughts and reactions to our mentors' feedback or engage in discussions with fellow attendees. The chat box is for chatting. The Q&A box is for your questions. Make sure that you put the questions in the Q&A box or I might overlook them. And the other thing on the chat, make sure it's set to everyone, and then that way everyone can see what you're saying and they can see what you're saying. All right, so I'm so excited. Let's get into introducing our mentor panelists now. First up is Danielle Pashko. She's a holistic nutrition expert, a chronic illness health coach, and author of Smile at Your Challenges. I have personally worked with Danielle as her publicist for the past year, and I have learned so much from her. So I know you will be inspired by her personal story of triumph today, as she is very transparent about her struggles with Lyme disease and long COVID, and how she's managed to overcome those health obstacles in her life. In today's virtual world, Danielle and I initially met on Zoom, just as we're connecting now. And I vividly recall, Danielle, the moment that you noticed my background here and you remarked, I think we're neighbors, which is really funny because as it turns out, Danielle and I live right next door to each other in New York City. I'm delighted to have Danielle with us today, and she is a highly sought after chronic illness health coach recommended by several prominent doctors here in the city. So welcome, Danielle.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be a part of this.
And I know we're throwing all of Danielle's links in the chat, so I would recommend you follow and connect with her. She's always putting out great content. Next up, Tyshawn Bryant. He is founder and CEO of Green Regimen. He's a certified nutritionist and a personal trainer. And Tyshawn is not new to the INICIVOX stage. You might remember him from our Elephant in the Room series on sexism, where he joined us as a panelist for one of our feedback sessions. In fact, this is how Tyshawn and I met. I reached out to him on LinkedIn and asked him to be a panelist on our sexism seminar series. And to be honest, it took him a couple days to respond, but in the end, he trusted me, and we ended up winning an award from Nutrition Business Journal for that series. So I'm really excited to have Tyshawn back. Everyone knows I absolutely love a good brand story, and Tyshawn has one of the best. He started his company, Green Regimen, out of necessity, not opportunity. Tyshawn started making green smoothies for his mother, who was given a cancer diagnosis. His custom formulas helped her drop, you ready for this? 50 pounds in just 60 days, and ultimately contributed to her cancer recovery and remission by bringing her body back to health. Tyshawn is a practicing vegan for many, many years. And so he debunks the myth that vegans can't build muscle, as you can see. If not, go follow him on Instagram and you will see it there. And I'm so glad that he's here today to share all his wisdom as an entrepreneur and a health and fitness enthusiast to address this very important topic on burnout. Welcome, Tyshawn.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
All right. And finally, Dr. Kulreet Chaudhary. She's a neurologist and a neuroscientist, Ayurvedic expert, and she is author of 2 books, The Prime and Sound Medicine. So I've also had the privilege of working with Dr. Chaudhary, as our team at Pitch Publicity has secured her many media engagements over the past couple of years. And we've known each other through our work with Healthy Directions. I have listened to every media interview that Dr. Chaudhary has done, and I can literally confirm that I've learned something new every time she speaks. So she is a wealth of information. She's written 2 books with major publishers, The Prime with Penguin Random House and Sound Medicine with HarperCollins. She earned her medical degree at Loma Linda University School of Medicine and completed her internships at UCLA and the University of Medicine, the University of California in San Diego. She's a pioneer in the field of integrative medicine and internationally recognized expert in the ancient practice of Ayurvedic medicine. And if you don't know what that is, you need to follow her, and you're about to find out. When Dr. Oz had his show, Dr. Chaudhary was a regular on that show. And in all her success, all these things that she's done, degrees and Dr. Oz and books, she maintains the most impeccable boundaries, protecting her meditation time, her family time, and her bedtime, which is very important. And so she is literally living proof that you can avoid burnout and still achieve many, many accomplishments in your career. And I know we are going to learn so much from her today. Dr. Chaudhary has even gone the extra mile, as she often does, and she's prepared us a chakra mantra meditation, which you can download from her website that is now linked into the chat. And she says it's the most powerful daily sound practice that she can recommend for burnout. Thank you, and welcome, Dr. Chaudhary.
Thank you, Avi. Always a pleasure to see your beautiful face.
Well, I am so excited. We're going to do a warm-up question. I see that our Q&A is already fired up. I can't wait to get people on screen. But just to kind of get things warmed up, I wanted to ask this question. How can you shift negative thoughts to a positive mindset during burnout? And let's start with Tyshawn.
All right, I'll set it off. So I believe that the best way to do this is to, first of all, embrace the fact that we're humans, and humans are going to undergo burnout, and we're going to have negative thoughts in the process. However, I think one of the best things we can do is, when we have a negative thought, we can counter that negative thought with 1 or 2 positive thoughts, because we're going to have the negative thoughts and we're going to accept that. However, you're not being delusional when you counter a negative thought with a positive thought. What you're doing is you're practicing, and everything that you learn today is going to have to be something of consistent action and constant practice. So I would say that would be one of the best things to do. Is anytime you have a negative thought, counter it. Something positive, I'm sure, happened throughout your day. So just think of that positive thought, think of that positive action that happened, and continuously think of positive thoughts anytime you have a negative thought.
Dr. Chaudhary, how do you shift negative to positive? Do you have negative thoughts, Dr. Chaudhary?
Ask my teenage son that question. I'm like, oh yeah. But they don't last for very long. So I'm going to give you the nerdy neurology answer. And I use brain entrainment, and that might sound really complicated, but it's essentially just using some external stimuli to change the way that your brain is firing. So when you're exhausted, you're going to have negative thoughts. Your level of energy really is one of the things that dictates the types of thoughts that you have access to. So let's say that you're at this place of exhaustion. Instead of asking myself when I'm totally exhausted to lift myself up, I don't do the heavy lifting. I ask for sound medicine, particularly the use of mantra meditation, to get me from here to up here. And it does that through the process of brain entrainment. And brain entrainment is just something that we're wired for. And it means that when we're exposed to external stimuli that are particularly rhythmic, our brain starts firing in a new frequency that matches that new vibration. So I'm here, the mantra meditation that I'm listening to or that I'm doing is up here. And so over a pretty short period of time, I just get up to here. And over time, as you do this regularly on a daily meditation practice, what happens is when that negativity hits, because it's going to hit, just like we just said, we're human, it's going to hit, but it takes less and less time to get back to a set point where you have access to the positive thoughts and that feeling of joy and peace and the experience in your body of energy. So I use science, but I use ancient science through mantras to get me back to where I want to be.
You were not kidding when you said this is going to be nerdy, but I love it. All right. I'm just giving Hannah a warning because Hannah's going to come on with her question soon. But Danielle, before we bring Hannah on, how do you shift those negative thoughts to positive mindset during burnout phases?
Well, for me, I try to allow a few minutes between my sessions to give myself that time in case I am feeling burned out, and negative thoughts can come along with that. So I like to close my eyes and clear my head and start giving myself any kind of affirmation that will allow me to feel in a much more settled place. I also really love Qigong. And there are some breathing exercises that you can do and movements that can actually really change your state. So if you're feeling just like tight and not in a good place, doing some of these exercises, yoga is really great. Like they were mentioning sound, but also for me, I really love Qigong and doing the breathing. So any kind of breath work and talking to yourself in affirmations, that really helps me to move out of it. Listen, we're all human. Like Tyshawn said, we're all going to have negative thoughts, but doing these practices helps to bring us more to balance.
I'm really happy to hear that everyone on this panel is human like me, because I wasn't sure before we started. You guys seem superhuman. Okay, Hannah, I'm bringing you on. Here we go. So Hannah's coming on to ask her question. When she gets on, she's going to put on her mic and her video, and she has a really good question. Next, I will be going to another question. So Florian, you can get ready. Florian, you're up next after Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
Hannah, do you have your question? Is it aimed to anyone in particular? You're wanting to hear from everyone?
Yeah, I guess I just want to kind of hear from everybody. That's okay. I'm a junior at Penn State. I'm a hospitality management major. And my question is, how can individuals proactively manage stress and maintain a healthy work-life balance to prevent burnout?
Tyshawn, you want to start?
Sure. So I went to Bucknell, by the way, which is not too far from Penn State. So
Oh yeah, that's super close.
absolutely. So I would say, again, with the practicing, however, let's take a look at a situation of, let's say you're studying and you just like you're trying to get this concept and it's really killing you. You're feeling stressed out and you know you have a lot more work to do. this is exactly what you can do. Get up, change your location. Perhaps you can go outside. It's pretty amazing what happens when you change your location, you take a walk outside and you look at nature. A lot of, and this is, of course, keeping your phone in your dorm room, right? You don't want to bring your phone with you, because what happens is you think that you're decompressing by taking your phone with you, but then all of a sudden you'll go on social media, you start looking at highlights of someone else's life, and sometimes that negativity could creep in that fashion. So changing location, just like rebooting your computer, is something that we have to do as humans. So that would be one bit of advice for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Danielle, you want to chime in here?
Also, being away at school, there's a lot of pressure to socialize, you know, the whole FOMO, fear of missing out thing. And I think that if you are starting to feel that sense of burnout, it's okay to say no to plans and take care of yourself once in a while and not feel embarrassed about the social pressures, which a lot of us feel. And sometimes we just need those nights to just stay in because we've worked so hard, we've gone out. Maybe you don't want to drink that night because it's going to affect you the next day. So I call for myself almost like JOMO, like joy of missing out. Like I like to say no to things because I know that it makes me feel better. So maybe pace yourself with the socializing.
I love that, Jomo. Dr.
Oh my
Chaudhary,
gosh.
advice?
I love it too. Danielle, I'm a JOMO too. I'm a big JOMO. So Hannah, physicians are experts at burning out from studying too much. We wrote the book on it, literally. And so I know this process only too well, since most of us are in school until close to our end of our 20s or early 30s. And the things that got me through it the most, and I'll be saying this multiple times, but it's a daily mantra meditation. It's the first thing that I did when I was a student, because you're literally like zapping the potential burnout of the day first thing in the morning. So you get up, just 20 minutes of silence during a mantra meditation, and it fills you up. So you're not starting empty, you're starting with a full cup. So by the end of the day, maybe your cup is only, half empty, or maybe you had a really exhausting day, but it never gets completely empty because you filled up as your first step. And, as Amy mentioned in the beginning, there's certain Ayurvedic herbs that saved me as a student. The two that I would really recommend are ashwagandha and brahmi. Ashwagandha, there you go, Amy.
Hannah's getting this because she was first up with
There-
the question.
Hey, you're
getting
gonna get it, Hannah. So the ashwagandha is fantastic for maintaining energy, and the brahmi is an Ayurvedic herb we use for enhancing brain function. So it's great as a student. It's also great when you get to my age and you're in the whole menopause dance. It's great at times when your body is in extreme demand and need. So that's what I would recommend: a daily 20-minute mantra meditation, and using some of these Ayurvedic herbs that will just support you as you go through this challenging time of having to put so much into your studies.
All right, Hannah, thank you so much. We're going to send you back, and I'm going to bring on Florian. And I just want to mention here, I love, Dr. Chaudhary, how you call it a menopause dance. I have never heard that before. We'll have to get into that later. Florian, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She's going to come on and I'm watching our time. So, Florian, am I saying your name right?
Yes,
Oh,
actually.
yay. Okay, so we're watching our time. So I want you to direct your question to one panelist. Who would you like to ask?
Maybe Danielle,
Okay.
because it's kind of to go off of what Hannah was saying, where you guys answered how to prevent burnout, but I was wondering, like, let's say you end up actually burning out, what would you do after that if all those tactics didn't work or you did use them in time,
So after you burn out, it also depends on, what is your mood at that moment? Are you feeling hungry and you feel like you need a good meal to maybe stabilize your blood sugar because you've gone hours without eating and you're very hungry? Or maybe you just need to do something relaxing, which is just finding a way to sit outside and get some sunlight to switch your environment. And also just really get into, do you do any kind of meditation or anything like that on your own right now?
Definitely have like tried it, but nothing too intense. I've always thought about doing it though.
Because that, I mean, seems like a common theme, but that can really help to reset you. Just closing your eyes and working on breathing. Breathing really helps with burnout. So doing those things, breathe out, maybe change your state, go outside, get some sunshine, and also, maybe have a good meal that's going to just help to stabilize your blood sugar.
Thank you. That
All
makes
right.
sense.
Thank you so much. I'm going to send you back, Florian. And we are now going to bring up Olivia. And let's see, let's promote Olivia to panelists. Did I promote her? Did I promote the wrong person? All right, I think I got it now. I was pushing somebody else, but Olivia is joining us now. And she has a question about establishing healthy boundaries. Olivia, was there a particular person you wanted to direct your question to?
Maybe I'll direct it towards you if that's okay.
Me? No. You have to. I'm the worst person to talk about boundaries and burnout. That's why I brought everyone else on. But let's I like your question, but I think we should ask Tyshawn and see what he says.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm just wondering how individuals can establish healthy boundaries to prevent burnout, both at work and in our personal lives.
So in terms of healthy boundaries, would you say more like healthier in terms of your nutrition or healthy in terms of your mindset?
I would say more in terms of my mindset.
Okay, so in terms of your mindset, what you would really want to do is, again, you have to embrace the fact that you're going to burn out. But what you want to do is you want to win the burnout battle. And the only way you can win the burnout battle is by being consistent. So everything that you learned today, it's all about consistency. So just like Danielle said earlier, in terms of perhaps doing some yoga, doing some qigong, doing something, I know I'm getting into more like the physical activity, but everything's connected, physical and mental as well. But in terms of setting those boundaries, one thing is you realize you're going to burn out. However, if you're practicing the positive thinking, if you're practicing the breathing, then you're going to win that battle of burnout. That's where it's so, because when you think of boundaries, you think, okay, I don't want to cross that boundary. But again, practice, practice, practice. What's going to happen is what you'll notice is if you start this on Monday, when you get to Saturday, because you're going to have negative thoughts Monday through Saturday, but you're going to realize, wow, I changed that so quickly. It was negative, boom, wow. And you'll actually start to become better at it. And then you'll start giving other people advice on how to do it.
Right. Amazing. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm going to send you back. I told Ellie that she was coming on, but actually I'm going to bring on Bridget next because Bridget has a really good question, I think, for Dr. Chaudhary. And then we're going to save Ellie's question because I think only one person on this panel can truly answer Ellie's question. So hang tight, Ellie. And as we bring Bridget on here. Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
So I wanted to bring you on because I think your question is perfect for Dr. Chaudhary. Can you ask it to Dr. Chaudhary?
Yes. My question was, what role does mindfulness or meditation play in preventing burnout? And how can we as individuals incorporate these practices into our daily routine and just the day-to-day?
I think I'm the walking billboard for how meditation prevents burnout. And as Amy said, I'm really, really good about creating boundaries about my meditation practice because I know the benefits of it. I've been meditating now for, let's see, 40 years. And even today, if I miss one day of meditation, I can feel the difference. Meditation is like taking a shower for your brain. So how long would you go without washing your body? That's the same for meditation. Your brain gets grimy when you don't meditate. And the easiest way to start meditating, and this is a meditation practice that I prescribe to all of my patients, is just the chakra mantra meditation. It's like the meditation for dummies, because you don't have to sit and try to be quiet. You're actually using sound, and you're using specific sounds that your body and mind powerfully respond to. And you can start it at your own pace. You can start with 5 minutes, then go to 10 minutes, then go to 15 minutes, and then eventually go to 20 minutes. And really, that's pretty much all you need. But the chakra mantra meditation, I have the download on my website, is like my go-to. I do it every single day. And for people who aren't meditating, I don't know how you're even getting through the day. The demands on us today are absolutely impossible. You have to have tools that tap into an energy beyond yourself just to keep up with like the average normal demands. And, you know, as Amy said before, when I list off the things that I have done in my life, I haven't done any of those from a state of burnout. I've accomplished those things from being in a state of connection. And the more connected I get, I notice that the more efficient and effective I get. Because if you actually look at your day, you'll spend the majority of your day fighting problems or fighting kind of negative thought patterns or just our own internal obstacles. It's not really as much of the external world, it's our response to the external world. And so when you have a meditation practice, it's like you see the line that will take you through all the obstacles really clearly. And that saves time, it saves energy, and it keeps you in a positive mental place.
Can I just ask a
Thank
follow-up
you.
question? I want to ask a follow-up question while Bridget's still on about the meditation, Dr. Chaudhry, because you mentioned an app. I don't know if that app is free, but it seems like some people charge you to learn how to meditate. Is that necessary?
It's not that it is necessary. It's just that, you know, we had this conversation before that meditation is a natural state, but we're living such an unnatural life that it's like you're asking somebody to teach you how to be natural again. You know, like we could say exercising is a natural state, breathing is a natural state, but we're living in such an unnatural environment that having a guide to help you to get back to your natural state it's helpful only because the way we're living. And this is, it's less than $10. It's just a simple download and it comes with the instructions. I tried to do something that was as affordable and simple as possible that would help the most number of people. And it's just a simple download from my website. And once you get into this practice, again, it's yours for life. It's not like you've got to subscribe to it for the rest of your life. Once it's yours, it's simply yours for life.
That's good to know. I was always curious about that. Thank you, Bridget. I'm going to send you back.
Thank you.
And now I am going to bring up Ellie. So Ellie is up next. And Ellie has a really good question that I think Danielle would be great to answer. So as she comes on camera, Ellie, hello.
Hi, I'm Ellie.
I think your question is best suited for the only person on this panel that lives in a cold environment. So Dr. Chaudhry and Tyshawn, they live in sunny California. So can you direct your question to Danielle, who lives in New York most of her life?
Yeah. My question is, how do you stay positive and motivated in the winter when it's cold and dark and kind of just hard to stay positive?
So I actually don't even let the weather affect me so much at this point because I try to shift my mental state when I wake up. So for example, like a lot of people, they wake up, they have their coffee first thing in the morning, they zoom out the door, they're in and out in 30 minutes, kind of like Dr. Chaudhry talked about, having your cup full in the morning. So for me to get into a good mental state and not be upset, I start off my morning, whether it's meditation or prayer, and I get into the mindset where everything is slow and I'm also doing some movement and I'm actually in a good mental space. So when I get through the course of my day, I guess if you look at your window or you're noticing it's kind of gloomy, it can be somewhat upsetting. But if you're already getting your mental state in that place where you feel some sense of contentment and happiness, it just makes it a lot easier. So what I would say is start with having rituals first thing in the morning to shape your brain into a good place. So you're not feeling so blah throughout the day if you start your day off well. I know that's a hard thing to do, but it takes more time, but it actually really changes the day you're going through. I don't even notice the weather half the time. So it's just about your rituals and getting good morning rituals and evening rituals, which maybe I'll talk about at another time. But you have to maintain those to keep your mental state. We all have that problem as humans.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ellie. I'm going to shoot you back. And now we are, Tyshawn, there are some questions for you, but this one's coming in and I kind of feel like it's a Dr. Chaudhary question. So Sandra Lee, I'm going to pull you on to the panel. And Cassandra's asking a mom question.
I don't know, Tyshawn did pretty good care of his mom.
I feel like we need to direct this to Dr. Chaudhary, who
I
mentioned
agree.
her
I
son at the
definitely agree.
beginning. Tyshawn, do you have any children we need to know about yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay,
Not
so
yet.
we'll let
Not that he knows
Chaudhary-
about.
All right. So Sandra, go ahead and
Hi,
ask your question.
everyone. So I kind of modified the question as you guys were talking with the last person. And I'm a professional and a single mom. I run my own pharmaceutical contract laboratory. So it's incredibly demanding. And I have this mindset, maybe a lot of women and men have this mindset, meditation and yoga is not for me. You know, it's not appropriate for me. It's not aggressive enough, or it's like way too calming for me. So the first question is, how do we get over this stigma, this mindset that we have for people who are very alpha? The second part is, I've done the consistent therapy, taking breaks, going vacations, a couple days, 3 days here and there, and it still never seems to be enough. And I still get burned out. And it seems to be a cycle, like almost kind of like a menstrual cycle. It comes every 3 months or so. And my professional coach, who I also see in addition with my therapist, mentioned, you seem to go through this every few months where you completely burn out, and then like, oh, hell breaks loose and everything, you want to burn down everything and kick everything and break everything. And I was like, I know, look at me, how can this face do that? But I seem to go through this, and maybe other people also go through this. So even if we know that it's supposed to come in, we may experience it no matter what we do. It seems when it becomes a cycle, like we're going through it 3 times a year, 4 times a year, just once a year, how do we break that? And how do we change our stubborn personality?
So your answer to the second question is really the first question. It is meditation. And when you talk about these cycles, we can call anything a cycle that just represents our natural physical and mental limits. For example, I can say that my car has a cycle in which I need to fill it up with gas. And the cycle is every time that it's empty. And so when you look at how long does it take for you to get empty, as you get older, it's going to take less and less and less time. And you can call that my cycles are getting more and more frequent, but really you're just aging. And as you age, the burnout, the impact of the burnout becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And you actually need to become more protective of not allowing for that to happen, because you won't bounce back, especially for women, because the hormonal impact of it is so massive. And so if I talk to you again, like in 10 years, you're going to say, well, my cycle used to be every 3 months. Now my cycle is every 1 month. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you're driving the car harder and harder and you're running out of gas faster. People have this misconception that meditation somehow numbs you out and that you're not going to be effective or efficient, and that you're going to go and sit in a cave somewhere and burn candles and incense. There can't be anything further from the truth. In my life, the longer that I meditate, the more productive I have become, the more money I make in the less amount of time. I'm not any less alpha. It's just I don't have to work so hard to get to where I want, because we have this idea that the more manic we are, that we must be doing more. In other words, if I wake up and my to-do list involves 25 things, that I'm probably going to get more done because my energy is so manic and it's just being spread out everywhere. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you look at the people who are actually accomplishing the most, they're laser focused with their thoughts and their intentions. You can't get there without a meditation practice. Now, look, I do yoga, I do breath work, I live a complete Ayurvedic lifestyle. The one thing that I absolutely would not give up before anything else is my meditation. It is the cornerstone of everything that I do. It's the cornerstone of everything that my patients do when they're trying to prevent burnout. And it's because, again, as I said, you're refilling the cup. And when you get accustomed to functioning from a full cup, you're going to be shocked at how many people are coming to you offering help and working on your behalf rather than looking all over the place trying to do it all yourself. It's a complete mental shift, and it only makes you more effective, not less effective.
Thank you.
And I will say that Dr. Chaudhary lives by this because we tried to book her TV interviews before 7 a.m. and she was like, no, this is my meditation time. And I was like, seriously? And she's like, yes. We had a big conversation about it. So
Okay.
Danielle too. Danielle doesn't do anything before 9 a.m., which is even more challenging.
My rituals. And I can't function without my rituals. I feel frantic. It's not good.
And to that point too, Amy, it's, people have this idea that people who are meditating are doing nothing. I naturally wake up around 4 a.m. I'm not tired. I don't have an alarm clock. I wake up when my body and my mind naturally wakes up, and I have more energy and I have more time in the day because of this meditation practice. So these habits that we're talking about, it's not like you're investing 20 minutes and getting nothing back. You're investing 20 minutes and you're getting like an extra 5 hours in your day. That's a good return on investment.
Excellent.
So is it safe to say that meditation is the one thing that every person should be doing, and it should be something that you can't skip out no matter what?
I've spent the last 20 years saying that. So yeah, but it's the one thing that organizes everything else. It changes the way that you eat. It changes the way that you sleep. It changes the amount of energy you have. You start exercising. Every person that I have taught a meditation or given a prescription to meditate, they say the same thing. I have more time in the day. How did all this extra time come about? How am I becoming more efficient? Because all of your other habits follow your meditation practice, because meditation changes the frequency of your thoughts. You just start thinking in a more efficient way, and that changes behavior.
And I just want to do a quick follow-up with Danielle, because Danielle, I know you have a pretty active prayer practice. So for people that pray, can you chime in on between prayer and meditation? Is it similar or?
It is similar, but I wanted to speak to that. I do meditate, but at different points of the day. My morning, when I first wake up, I actually give thanks to my creator. Now, you may not be religious, you don't have to believe in God, but even if it's about the universe, it's almost like I do an accounting of my day to day. First, I thank the things, thank you that I'm healthy. Thank you that I have a job that I'm happy and that doesn't make me stressful. Thank you for, everything that you can find that you're happy about. It's good to give thanks, because whatever, this maybe sound a little bit spiritual, but whatever song you're singing down here, upstairs, they're singing the same song. So really, to be in a place of gratitude and feeling that makes a difference. And then from the gratitude, I start going into the prayers that I'm asking for, and I speak out loud. Using your mouth and speaking actually brings energy into the universe. So I speak for what I want. I have a therapy session with my creator for 20 minutes every morning. If someone walks in the room, I may look a little bit crazy, but that calms me. That is meditative for me. And that's the way I start my day. I've been meditating since I'm 11, but I've been doing this practice for about 7 years. And it took time to see things unfold, but to watch some of the things be answered that I'm asking for, or even sometimes I'll just ask, please help me to be calm, or please give me energy in the situation, or please work through me for the person I'm talking to in this next meeting and give me the right words. And you'll find that if you're an open vessel and you're allowing yourself to have a clear mind, you will get through your day with such more clarity and peace. And that's what we're all striving for.
Thank you for that. Sandra, I'm going to send you back. Thank you for your question. And we have another question from Nicole, and this is going to, so Nicole, I'm going to promote you right now. This is going to be for Tyshawn. And Tyshawn, I'm really concerned about Nicole because she actually works with us on the pitch publicity team, and she is always telling me about her issues with caffeine. So this one is directed to you, Nicole. Go ahead and ask Tyshawn.
Hi, Tyshawn. Yeah, my issue is I lean on caffeine every hour of the day. And that kind of leads to like caffeine burnout, and overall burnout. So when I am tired, just another cup and just keep going. But I was wondering what you recommend or other things to do rather than leaning on caffeine to avoid the caffeine crash.
Yeah, it's like, this is really interesting because I'll talk about supplementation in a second. However, are you willing to do any sort of physical fitness, whether that's cardiovascular work? Are you?
Yeah, I like to go to the gym when I'm like stressed out, but I need caffeine to go to the gym is my
Which you
issue.
definitely go to the gym. Okay, so that's going to start with your nutrition. So let's say when it comes to a situation of where your nutrition is lacking, then you would probably need a healthy form of carbohydrates. So let's say maybe when you wake up in the morning, you have some oats, you have some sweet potato during the afternoon, and you also have some fruit. Because what you're doing now is, so fruits are filled with micronutrients that will help replenish your body where it's void of micronutrients, and that will help sustain your energy level. And when it comes to like that caffeine, because there's a caffeine crash, I think this is a good time to think about supplementation. Now, there are a few different supplements. One, and I guess this will be a plug here, but so my company, so we're releasing a product next week that actually has caffeine in it. However, it also has a few amino acids such as theanine and tyrosine. And what theanine does is when you have caffeine with theanine, there's no crash. So you keep that focus, you keep that energy level, because you see, supplements are so important. And I know a lot of us think we can get everything we need from food these days, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. So if you look at a situation of where if your nutrition when you start the day is great, right, and you continue to the afternoon, and you start taking some supplements such as theanine, you will notice that you will not have that caffeine crash. Caffeine has received a bad stigma, but it's just because of the fact that if you look at the holistic approach to someone's wellness, usually there's a lot of holes there. So you start the day with great carbohydrates, you continue the day with some good supplements, and what you'll notice is you will not have that 2 p.m. crash, because that's usually what it's called. And you'll continue throughout the day, and you will be able to sleep at night, because sleep is so important. Ashwagandha, that's another supplement that was mentioned earlier. When it comes to cortisol is our stress hormone. So we're stressed out, we're anxious. Usually that cortisol level is high. Well, ashwagandha will help lower that cortisol level. So, you can definitely contact me later if you forget some of the information that I'm giving you, but you have to be consistent with this. It's not like you take this on Monday and then Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll be fine. Just get into the habit of nutrition. You did say you like going to the gym. Fantastic. There's a clear reason as to why, people always talk about how great it is to go to the gym, because, that also decreases your cortisol level as well. But that will also keep your energy levels high as well, and mentally as well. If you're at the gym, and when I say the gym, leave your phone either in your locker or have your phone with you, but only use it for music that you're listening to. I actually go to the gym and I do not take my phone with me at all, so I can kind of zone out from there. But you want to be intentional about a lot of these practices, because when you're intentional about these practices, all of a sudden they will become second nature for you.
Thank you,
Awesome. Thank you.
Nicole. Thank you. I'm going to send you back, Nicole. And we are wrapping up. So I see that Leah has put a link to our survey for this panel into the chat box. Please be sure to fill that out. I do have one last question for our panel. We're going to go around the room, and we're going to wrap up with this question. There was a lot of information here today that was very valuable. My closing question to all of you: what daily habit do you swear by to keep burnout at bay? And Danielle, we'll start with you.
As soon as I wake up, I go outside. And I think that's especially important for people who work from home because the sunlight is very important. It also starts to raise your body temperature, which helps you throughout the day and starts to regulate your circadian rhythms and give you more energy. So no matter what I do, if you have a dog, great, that forces you to go out. But if you work from home and you're not going out to work, make sure you get outside and get some sunlight in your eyes. That is going to help you.
All right, Tyshawn, what is your one daily habit you would not amiss?
My non-negotiable is I wake up in the morning, I take my supplements. In the car, I do my thankful prayer, and I work out. I hit the gym because I know going to the gym, not only is that going to release any stress that I had when I went to sleep, however, that's going to be physically the most demanding exercise and most demanding feat that I have throughout the day. And if I could be victorious with my workout, then anything that happens after the workout during the day will be much easier to deal with.
All right, and Dr. Chaudhry, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but bring us home. What is your one non-negotiable?
You know what it is. I wrote a whole book on sound medicine because I believe this is so important. It's the chakra mantra meditation. It's the first thing I do for 20 minutes. I literally am taking a shower for my mind before I even bathe my body because I think it is that powerful. This is a mantra meditation that came from an ancient lineage from South India. So it's not something that somebody just dreamt up, in the last year. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years because it has worked. And I have it available on my website. It's less than $10 that you would spend on completely changing your view of burnout. So it's always the first thing that I recommend to my patients. And it's the first thing that I do every single morning.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, so you can totally tell me no. You tell me no all the time anyway, so I'm used to it. But for those of us that don't really know what a chakra is, do you mind sharing it on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So they're just your major energy centers in your body. It's where you get all of your energy from, and they're organized so that you're energizing different parts of the body. This was a really easy concept for me as a neurologist because I know we have nerve bundles. We have major nerve bundles in every area where they describe the chakras. So it's essentially the energy centers that feed the nervous system in those centers. And these are sounds that those centers live by. So these are the sounds that feed those particular areas of your body. So it's a meditation that just energizes every major part of you.
All right. Well, thank you. Be sure to download Dr. Chaudhry's chakra then. And be sure to join us for another Mentor SkillShare on March 20th, 12 p.m. Eastern. Mark your calendars. We are going to talk about how to maximize your visibility working remotely, because we know it's so hard to do in this remote world to get anyone's attention. We're going to get some experts on here to help us figure out how to get noticed, how to get promoted. And in the meantime, I hope that you take on some meditation practice, some prayer practice, some exercise, limit the caffeine. And I just want to thank again Dr. Chaudhry and Tyshawn and Danielle all for joining us today. This has been very empowering. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.